In Georgia, the father of a 14-year-old mass shooter is arrested in connection to the shooting. In Louisiana, a man is sentenced after the murder of an ex-Baton Rouge police officer. And in Tennessee, a preacher's house is shot up. These stories and more coming at you today, Tuesday, September 10th, on Real Life Real Crime Daily. And I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Woody Overton.
And we back in effect
back
on a
in
Tuesday.
The saddle. Back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle. Hey,
you never had a day off since we started this shit. And then,
I don't think
and then you didn't want it. But anyway, we had a miscommunication about me doing one show, and then you didn't want it off.
You confused me. I'm like, what do you mean I got a day off? You fire me? What you trying to do?
It's all good. All good in the hood.
Jim, you got a permanent day off.
How you get fired on your day off?
Yeah, how the hell is that possible?
Remember that movie Friday?
Yeah. Who the fuck? Hey, you get fired on your day off.
Hey, look at my
That's a great movie. Oh, she's a cutie.
Yeah, showing a picture of my grandbaby, y'all. All right, a couple things. Naturally, we have a storm coming, and it's the first time in 2 years that any kind of named storm really even has a probable chance of hitting Louisiana, which is, in my 30 years of working them and everything else, the last 2 years is the first time that we hadn't had any type of, not even a named tropical storm hit us. And of course, the year before that's when we all lost everything with Hurricane Ida. So everybody stay safe, gas up your vehicles, go ahead and get your bottled waters,
charge up everything, fill up your bathtubs with water so you can use that to flush your toilets. These are little tricks from people that have been without power for 20 days. Yeah.
You know, you're not going to be able to get, if you go and get something, get it today, because even if it's a small storm, people are going to buy everything out.
That's right.
Just get your batteries and shit and stay prepared, stay safe. Do not, if the power goes out and stuff and trees are down and shit, don't go near them. Right. Power lines. And had more people get killed touching power lines than any storm that I work.
Really?
Yep. And the other thing, don't steal your neighbor's generator. Don't be a fucking asshole. If you don't take the time to get your own generator and gas, we used to work those middle of the night. People might have their one little AC running, chilling their family, all sleeping in the same room, and instead of just go quiet, because generators are loud, and some crackheads are out there stealing your generator.
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all stay safe, and we love and appreciate each and every one of you. And let's get down to some true crime time for Tuesday.
All right, and we're going to start off in Georgia, and just a horrible story. If you've been watching the news, you certainly have seen a lot of aspects of this deal I'm about to tell you about. But the father of a 14-year-old accused of shooting and killing 2 teachers and 2 students was arrested in connection to the deadly Georgia school shooting that rocked a small community. Investigators announced this just a couple of days ago. The teen suspect, Colt Gray's father, which is Colin Gray, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, and 8 counts of cruelty to children after 2 14-year-old students and 2 teachers were killed in that mass shooting in Winder, Georgia. 9 other people, 8 students and 1 teacher, were wounded and hospitalized, all of whom are expected to survive, thankfully. While investigators provided few details about the father's role in the shooting, they acknowledged the sheriff's office visited the family home in Jefferson, Georgia in May of 2023 to respond to reports that then 13-year-old Colt Gray allegedly made threats to shoot up the local public middle school on the social media app Discord. Colin Gray said that his son had some problems at his previous middle school, but that it had gotten a lot better since he changed schools. The father also told investigators during that visit that he had hunting rifles in the house, adding, Colt is allowed to use them when supervised, but does not have unfettered access to them. In addition, the teen denied making mass shooting threats on Discord, saying he had never made any comments about shooting up a school. The director of the GBI, which is the investigative unit investigating this, said Thursday it was a difficult time for the community. You'll all have likely seen reports of the incidents of other students making threats at various schools around the state. In each of these incidents, we investigate and make arrests where needed. So that is I guess the breaking news on that. And we covered a similar case where a father was arrested, put in jail, and a mother in another state.
And we talked about this on Friday, this case. And so the FBI got the initial tip, and then they called the local sheriff's office and they sent them out on that thing that's when the dad made the statements. Now, I read this morning, I believe it was the mother evidently had called the home like 30 minutes before the shooting or something and made statements about the son going to do a shooting. I don't know if she knew he had the guns or whatever happened, but that's going to partake in it. And, certainly they want somebody to pay for it, but the dad did make the statements. Let's talk about this. Anytime think about this one, right? The shooting that happened after the kid was investigated. Think about all the ones that they go out and investigate and speak to that'll scare the kid from not actually doing it.
Right.
And in this case, the dad said, he doesn't have unfettered access. Well, mother, evidently he did. And they're trying him as an adult for those 4 murders. And think about this. The 4 dead, but all the ones that are wounded. And look, it's not like this 14.
Yeah, those could be dead.
I think about the amount of shooting that takes is what I'm saying, because not every one of the bullets that he fired would it just hit these wounded victims and the ones that he killed.
Right. He
shot up.
Yeah.
Right. That's a lot of bullets, bro. Like 9 people that were wounded, I think, and 4 that are dead. I mean, that's, how do you, I would imagine, I don't know. The dad's probably got some answer to do, especially with what I read this morning about the mom calling right ahead of time and saying that she thought it was going to happen or whatever. And evidently he didn't pay attention. I don't know.
Horrible situation. And that it just don't seem like this happened a whole lot back in our day. I don't want to sound old, but
never happened.
You didn't hear a whole lot about it. We had hunting rifles in our trucks, man.
I would go straight from the stand or the woods to school, and I always had guns in my vehicle.
Yeah.
And people just didn't do it, bro. And I don't know. It happens over and over and over again, and I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, and it kind of scares the hell out of me for my granddaughter coming up. Yeah.
A lot of these shootings, and our whole society's changed. I remember watching Donald Trump speak, and now he has the glass around.
Right.
And I think about the rest of the world, and they see that, and they're used to that.
Right. Yeah.
The rest of the world, I'm at least not used to seeing that in the United States.
I'm not either. And this next story, we're going to go to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And it's another case like that. And police said that roughly 30 to 40 shell casings were recovered at Greg Locke's home in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And y'all, Greg Locke is a pastor. Okay. So a shooter or shooters opened fire on the Tennessee pastor's house late Tuesday night, firing dozens of bullets into the residence while one of the pastor's children was home. The Wilson County Sheriff's Office says it is investigating the Tuesday night shooting and that approximately 30 to 40 shell casings were recovered. And the officers responded to the home around 10:30 p.m. local time. And the Sheriff's Office said no one was hit or injured during the incident, and the detectives are actively working on the case. Sheriff's Office spokesperson says that there were multiple shots that had penetrated the house, the garage, and a vehicle. Now, Locke is the lead pastor at Global Vision Bible Church in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, and he's drawn lots of controversy over his conservative views and his church practices, which have at times included burning books, etc. And on social media, Locke shared photographs showing the investigators marking evidence outside his home, writing in a lengthy Facebook post that the gunfire erupted about a minute before he pulled into his driveway. And he also wrote one of his children was in the house when the shooting occurred, but thankfully the child wasn't injured. And he described his house as a full-blown crime scene. And he wrote that, according to the security cam footage, we pulled into her driveway exactly 1 minute after a madman unloaded an entire magazine of bullets from an automatic weapon into her house, garage, and my truck. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck, right? And I mean, y'all can go check out his social media. They have the audio from the shooting, from the whatever that camera was, and then he shows all the photos of his house, with the bullet holes, and there's a blurry photo of a pillow on a bed, and that a bullet cut through. And somebody been sleeping there.
Oh, they're done.
Be dead, right? And that was his youngest daughter's bed. And the bullets lodged in her pillow.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Fucking crazy.
Well, and they had one in Baton Rouge, a little, I say a little, there's nothing little about it, but a drive-by shooting where a child was killed. Yeah. The bullet wasn't intended for the child, but they were in bed sleeping, and sadly,
I talked about it on Bloody Angola, that one case that the guy's down for life, and they went over and shot up the house, and they knew people were in there, but like the 14-year-old got killed laying on top of his brother or sister,
Yep.
I don't know.
All right, we're going to go to Baton Rouge. Speaking of Baton Rouge, and a Baton Rouge judge last Wednesday convicted a man of shooting a retired BRPD policeman 4 years ago when the officer intervened in a vehicle break-in near his home. After listening to 3 days of testimony, which is actually a good bit of length of time for cases these days, it seems like most of them. District Judge Gail Horn Ray deliberated 45 minutes before finding Craig Leland Willis guilty of manslaughter. Willis shot and killed Ryan Gibbs Horde during an April 26, 2020 encounter about 300 yards from Horde's doorstep. Horde, who was 41, spent years working as an officer for the BRPD before he retired from law enforcement to start his own construction company. The ex-officer confronted Willis moments after he was spotted on security cameras trying to break into a pickup truck parked in Horde's driveway in the 100 block of Richland Avenue. Wednesday's verdict was a final culmination of a bench trial that Willis, 33, opted for this week. And that's interesting. I want to talk about that after. He asked Judge Ray to listen to the evidence and decide if he was guilty of second-degree murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and simple burglary in connection with the killing. In ruling Willis is guilty of manslaughter, Ray spared Willis the automatic life sentence he faced if he was convicted of murder. The judge found him guilty of the 2 remaining counts and set an October 30th court date for Willis's sentencing. He faces up to 72 years combined in prison on the 3 charges. Today marks a significant day of closure for me and my family, said Horde's son Blaine, who was 15 at the time. Justice was finally served after 4.5 years of delays in the court system. There isn't a day that goes by we don't think of my dad, your neighbor, or friend Ryan Horde. As the verdict was read, Blaine Horde sat in the courtroom with several family members, including his father's fiancee, Natalie Butler. Both of them took the stand to testify during the trial. So, according to the trial testimony, Butler notified Horde shortly before midnight that she saw a man trying to break into his pickup truck through security cameras. Willis tugged on one of the door handles and continued to walk south down the street because the door was locked. After Butler showed Horde the surveillance footage, he got in his truck and began driving down the street. Prosecutors say Willis had broken into a neighbor's Ford Focus 3 houses down by the time Hoard confronted him a little over a minute later. The two men exchanged gunfire when Hoard got out of his truck and ordered Willis to get on the ground. Prosecutors say Willis emptied all 8 rounds from a stolen 9mm Smith & Wesson, striking Hoard in the chest before he fled and left Hoard for dead. The victim's fiance rushed to his aid, but he died at the scene. Willis was wounded in the shootout, and police later captured him 1 block away. Now, it's interesting to note that Willis was released from prison 9.5 months prior to the shooting after serving 10 years for an armed robbery conviction. So he was prohibited from owning or possessing a gun. Willis and his defense team insisted he was forced to shoot Hoard in self-defense after the deceased fired shots at him first, but prosecutors told the judge that the recent prison sentence served as Willis' motive to gun Hoard down. Basically, they're saying that he didn't want to go back to jail, right, and serve the rest of his sentence. So that's the kind of the facts of the case. And I wanted to spend a little time talking about this one because there's a lot of moving parts. Of course, all of us in that position are thinking, man, we probably grab a gun too and go down the street and try to catch this guy. But what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that let's start with it being a bench trial is what they call it.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to go in
a jury,
front of a jury because they were going to hang his ass. And that, right? So the judge, most of them really are impartial. So they gave the verdict. Now, as far as go down the street. You saw him on breaking into your vehicle. Go down the streets. You confront him, and that's what they got grand juries for, bro. I don't know. Because I could promise you, I probably would have done the same thing.
But is it the right thing to do?
Probably. Probably. But this guy's an ex-cop. But how you take that out? If you're a normal citizen, call 911. And say the dude's going down the street, and they'll get somebody over. So 107P, a suspicious person, to do it, and it could have been avoided. But it also could have been avoided if this asshole hadn't been in the neighborhood breaking into vehicles.
That's right, and he definitely put himself in that position, and it's obviously it's horrible that this happened. This guy was just trying to stop somebody from breaking in cars. But you do open yourself up to that.
Yeah.
Any of us, when we encounter that, and I struggle to think, had he just called the cops, because he wasn't a cop at the time.
Yeah.
He was a citizen at the time. Had he just called the cops, he'd be alive today.
Yeah. And it could have been, he called the cops and then the cop would have got shot. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's trained. Well, I guess he was trained too,
right.
But I don't know, man. I feel horrible for his family and
they killed because of some fucking crackhead. Or
does this guy have any self-defense claim?
I'm sure he tried to claim it. The judge found it the way he found it.
Yeah.
You can't take the cop out of the cop. And
Woody's tough to crack, y'all.
Can't take the cop out of the cop on an album, because I'm gonna tell you that I'd have gone down there too. And then that's why I tell, I used to do the consulting for the Lee Michaels, the jury stores and stuff like that. I'm like, let them take it. Yeah.
Property's not worth your life.
Call the cops, because you never know who you're fucking with. That's the problem. Yeah, this dude didn't want to go back to prison. Sergeant Vicky Wax, Baton Rouge PD, many, many, many years ago. Veteran, working at the old Walmart off of not the Happy Note, where's that bar was right there. Well, they always had music on Thursday nights. Anyway, in Baton Rouge, right off the interstate, off Acadian. And she was working extra duty, and dude was stealing like a $10 DVD. And she went to stop him, and he took a pistol and killed her, because he was going to be a 3-time felon.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you never know who you're
dealing with.
Who you're dealing with. The Happy Note. Ooh, it's been a long time.
But the Happy Note was
I was up there on
McDonald's. But what was the name of the one? They always had bands and shit. I used to see Alison Krauss and there back in the day. anyway, it was right there off Acadian in that shopping center. But
Ricky B's?
It's something else that's going to come to me in a minute. And we used to go there and listen to a lot of good live music.
Well,
I hate it.
Yeah.
You know?
Glad to see at least some resolution.
Yeah. I mean, for the family and the guy will appeal it and everything else. And that's his right. But
yeah,
I hate that anybody got killed because of some
idiot.
That's right. And then let me tell you about this idiot. Hey, y'all, changing my wardrobe from summer to fall, it's never easy. Luckily, Quince offers timeless and high-quality items I adore, ensuring my wardrobe stays fresh and I don't blow my budget. And there's nothing easier than going to Quince and choosing these high-quality items, like cashmere sweaters from $50, pants for every occasion, washable silk tops, and so much more. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, and I love that. I got the stainless steel Link Apple Watch band for $59.90. It's heavy duty, it's awesome, and it's like $100 less than I could find anywhere else. And I also got a 100% organic cotton fisherman quarter zip up sweater. The color is alabaster. Man, I can't wait to wear that this fall. And Cindy got the Mongolian cashmere boat neck sweater in heather gray. And I'm telling you, these are classic pieces at a fraction of the price. Make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/RLRC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/RLRC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/RLRC. You'll thank me later. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. This is just a stupid, sad story. Asher Lepping, 2 years old, was pronounced dead from his injuries at a hospital on September the 2nd, according to the police. And he was a 2-year-old riding his tricycle in a cul-de-sac of his gated Florida neighborhood. And when he got run over by a silver Toyota Tacoma, which had a teenager driving it. That was drunk. And he came barreling down toward him, striking him, and pulled the child behind the truck. Right? Yeah, so Kristen and Daniel Lepping, the parents, began yelling at the driver, who was identified as Joshua Aiden Montero. This before he hit him. They're yelling at him, slow down, slow down. But he didn't. And the truck hit the child and dragged him several feet and left a trail of blood marks behind him. It was around 7:15 p.m. local time on Monday, September the 2nd. So one of the neighbors conducted CPR on the toddler, and they identified the Asher Lepping as Asher Lepping, but the child was later pronounced dead at the hospital. And Montero is charged with felony DUI, manslaughter, et cetera, et cetera. And it's crazy, bro. The cop said our agency is deeply saddened at the loss of this precious little boy. And we hope that justice prevails for the little boy's family, and our hearts go out to his family during this heartbreaking time. At the scene, Asher's mom told the police that told them exactly what happened, a narrative of events, which is what they used for a probable cause affidavit. And she said the vehicle's front tire completely ran over her son. And
one decision away from ruining your life and other people's.
And it's just crazy. But when they were driving him to the jail, Montero told the officer that he was drunk, but not, in his words, drunk, or too drunk to drive.
Really?
Yeah. So
that his blood alcohol sounds different.
Exactly. I'm about to tell you. The two breath samples, he registered a 0.062 and a 0.057. And both are over the legal limit, as he is under the age to drink.
Oh, so there you go.
But let me finish it up real quick. He, when they asked him if he'd been drinking, he first told investigators he had 15 cans of Michelob Ultra, and then he changed that number to 3 or 4 cans over a 4-hour period. He said he had been at the beach, right? And he also, the teenager, admitted to recreational cocaine use and told the officer that he had consumed 2 grams over the past 2 days, but that he had not had any that day due to his girlfriend not allowing him to. And anyway, it just goes on and on. What a shithead he is. Golly, prayers go out to that kid. I mean, you live in a cul-de-sac, right? So you think nobody's coming down here, and people come down here, they're going to drive slow. My house, we had a Marpaw. Look, you can speed down the street, and it's 15 miles an hour, not because of kids stuff, but it's because you have respect for your neighbors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that was a dead end cul-de-sac, right? And you don't expect somebody to come down there and run over your 2-year-old on their tricycle.
No, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Awful. Well, speaking of young kids, I got a young kid story for you that you're not going to believe. A 10-year-old boy in Louisiana, 10 years old, is in custody after he reportedly admitted to fatally shooting an 82-year-old former mayor and his 31-year-old daughter in Minden, Louisiana. Joe Cornelius and his daughter Keisha Miles were found dead inside a Minden residence. According to local police, the victim had been shot several times. Victims have been shot several times. We have the suspect in custody now. Minden Police Chief Jared McClever said of the 10-year-old, adding, "We have a confession from the suspect." However, McClever said that the cases involving juveniles are complex. We've got a confession, but in these cases, you're in, it's very delicate. When you're dealing with a child of this age, in their stage, we're looking at, was their motive? What was the motive?
Yeah, shit.
It's one of those things that we've still got a lot of unanswered questions. He added that although the child was scared, he appeared to have the mindset to commit a crime like this. What? It wasn't immediately clear what type of mindset the chief was referring to. Authorities did not release information about the nature of the child's relationship with the victims. The child was accompanied by his grandmother, who is his legal guardian, for questioning during the investigation.
Because they got to have,
yeah,
got to have somebody there. You can't question a juvenile without a guardian.
Right. And Cornelius was a well-known figure in the community, briefly serving as interim mayor of Minden in 2013. Absolutely bizarre and crazy. Here's my question. 10 years old, can you do anything?
No, well, not technically, no, unless they try them as older. When I used to work at Florida Parish Juvenile Detention Center, and that was what, like I say, not a hug a thug program. Is you go there for bad shit.
Yeah.
And the murders and robberies and rapes and shit like that. But they wouldn't even take anybody under 11. 11 was the youngest they would take them.
10 years old is so young.
That's crazy. Crazy. I wonder if it's like his other grandparents or something. I mean, how the hell do you murder two people when you're
And it's really bizarre to me. The chief made the statement. It appears he had the mindset, like he's a little devil or something.
But probably, they were talking to him. He was like, "Yeah, I went and got the gun because I was mad at him and I shot him." Right? That would show mindset.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, simple as that. And some people are just fucking thrown off, man, full of evil, even kids.
It's horrible and it's tragic. Man was 82 years old. You've already outlived life expectancy, and he goes and it's murdered. It's horrible.
10 years old and double murder. That's going to be interesting to see what happens with that one.
It will. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, you better believe there's a whole lot more that's going to come out on it. Now, LSU played in Vegas, and of course they lost, y'all, and that's all right. But I used to go out to Vegas sometimes for pleasure. I went out there a lot for work when I was working all over the country, and we're going to go out there again. But we need to call Roy and Kristen on this one.
Oh yeah,
you know from this one. Well, a Las Vegas woman stole a $2,600 casket with a body from a funeral home and told police she blacked out from drinking 6 beers.
Really?
Patricia Sierra,
lightweight.
Patricia Sierra, 47, is accused of breaking into the Affordable Cremation and Burial Service funeral home on August 27th by smashing the front window and reaching through to unlock the door. She is then accused of taking a casket out the front door, and it's according to the Las Vegas Police Department. And they received a call about a suspicious person lying face down in front of a funeral home, as well as a casket in front of the business, which also seemed to have been burglarized. Now, upon arrival, officers found a door to the funeral home with broken glass and the casket sitting on a cart on a sidewalk near the funeral home. They then discovered a body, which had been in the casket and had arrived at the funeral home 7 days before. Its feet covered with plastic bags and lying face down on some rocks near the front of the property. Now, flower petals were inside the viewing room of the funeral home, which officers found to be otherwise untouched. I guess this person spread out some flower petals. I don't know. The place was untouched except for the broken glass and the door was that was ajar. And they reviewed the camera surveillance footage, and it showed a woman breaking into the funeral home and coming and going multiple times. She was in and out, in and out. They also found and observed on surveillance video a red BMX bicycle. I guess that was her wheels to get there.
Oh my God.
At the scene, police were approached by a construction worker who claimed he saw a woman on the day of the incident who matched the description of the suspect captured in the surveillance video, holding flowers and sitting on one of the funeral home's exterior walls. The Affordable Cremation and Burial Service declined to comment on the incident. They They were only able to identify her following a call on August 29th regarding a suspicious person at a 7-Eleven, with the caller claiming he had spotted the suspected casket thief at the convenience store wearing the same clothing from the day of the incident. So the same guy that reported, he said, oh shit, she's right there at 7-Eleven. She's still wearing the same shit a couple of days later, right?
Ain't gonna be hard to try.
Right. And so she was located and detained under reasonable suspicion of stealing the casket. And when officers began to explain how she was caught on surveillance footage and the scene had been processed for DNA and fingerprints, she claims she often blacks out due to a substance abuse problem. Now, Sierra was charged that same day with burglary of a business, grand larceny, and the removal, transfer, and distribution of human remains. And her mama said 11 grand. But police said she used the red BMX bike as a means of transport, and she admitted using a rock to break a window was her common method to burglarize businesses.
If it works.
Right? The documents reported describe her as an apologetic light, and as she explained, she was not actively spiteful in her alleged actions and did not intend to steal the casket. What the fuck are you going to do with a casket?
Right. I got so many things to say.
Right. So let me finish real quick. Sierra had apparently blacked out after drinking the beers, causing her not to remember committing the crimes. And that's it. There you have it.
First of all, if you black out all 6 beers, what the hell? You need to take Woody Everton drinking lessons.
That doesn't even get me started.
But then, look, caskets are heavy.
I know.
And I would imagine especially heavy with bodies in it.
But I don't know, bro.
That might be the first time I've ever heard of someone breaking into a funeral.
Yeah.
I'm sure it happens, but
yeah, well,
that's not the first place I'd think to, if I'm looking for mischief.
And then she's like, yeah. And they said, well, it was, we got you on surveillance tape, and then the door was broken with a rock, and the glass broke a rock. She said, yes, usually, I used to burglarize business. Anyway, so let's talk about that real quick. Roy and Kristen in Louisiana.
I'm wondering if they've ever gotten broken. I doubt it. They probably got bulletproof glass and everything.
Was tight.
Yeah.
And the LouisianaFuneralServices.com, LouisianaPetCrematory.com, y'all, the best people in the world.
Yeah.
Louisiana on that humongous American flag.
Giant American
flag. There are people, and look, so many lifers reach out to me every week saying, I know you. I keep forgetting that you used them, Jim.
I used them, and I'll tell you what. Sadly, I have a lot of friends that have pets, and every single time one tells me, that they're going to have to put their pet down, I tell them, trust me, go to Louisiana Pet Crematory, and there's so much respect with the way they do everything.
Right. And they do everything there, and it's the only place in Louisiana where you can get your own independent autopsy.
That's right.
So y'all give them a shout out.
All right. If I were to start a new segment just out of the blue, I would call it BRUH, bruh. Because when I read this article, that was my first thought was bruh.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
We're going to go to Florida. You're not going to believe this one.
All right.
A man who had a medical emergency while on vacation in Florida has died on the operating table after the surgeon mistakenly removed his liver instead of his spleen.
Nice.
William Bryant of Alabama was visiting the Florida Panhandle this last month when he suddenly began experiencing lower left abdominal pain. He and his wife Beverly, they go to the Ascension Sacred Heart Emerald Coast Hospital. That's between Pensacola and Panama City. Doctors were concerned about the abnormality in his spleen, and they admitted him for further testing. Everything seems okay, right? General Surgeon Dr. Thomas Shabnowski and Chief Medical Officer Dr. Christopher Bacani persuaded the 70-year-old Brian to undergo emergency surgery at the hospital, or he could experience serious complications. So, Brian, he goes ahead and he underwent that hand-assisted laparoscopic splenectomy procedure. This happens, and in the middle of the surgery, Shabnowski removes Brian's liver instead of his spleen. The surgical snafu resulted in immediate and catastrophic blood loss, which resulted in his death. After erroneously removing Brian's liver, the general surgeon labeled the organ as a spleen. According to the law firm representing them, it was only identified as a liver after the man's death. Shabnowski allegedly told Beverly Bryan that her husband's spleen was so diseased that it was 4 times bigger than usual and had migrated to the other side of his body.
Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me.
In a typical human body, the liver is located on the upper right side of the abdominal cavity, just below the diaphragm and above the stomach. right kidney, and intestines. The spleen is located on the upper left side of the abdomen next to the stomach and is significantly smaller than the liver. It's actually about 3 pounds lighter and roughly the size of your fist. The law firm said that Shabnowski also performed previous wrong site surgery last year, in which he was accused of removing a portion of a patient's pancreas instead of performing an adrenal gland resection. The case was settled and the terms were not disclosed in that case. Beverly Bryan said she retained the law firm to get justice, obviously, as she should. And this man is dead because this surgeon removed the wrong freaking organ. That's crazy.
Bruh.
That makes you say, bruh.
You know,
you go in,
but it takes out
routine shit.
That organ was so diseased, it was 4 times its normal size.
Yeah.
And it was on the wrong side of the
Wrong
body.
side, and it moved. The organ moved.
Because the dude's dead from it.
Yeah, but it's
Wait a minute.
crazy,
You're a surgeon.
man.
You can't tell the difference between a spleen and a liver?
I mean, I hope he gets sued, and he will.
See, that motherfucker needs to go to prison.
Everybody, yeah.
That's negligent homicide.
Totally.
At least. I mean, you show such lack of care. I mean, you could have Googled it if there was a question in your mind and you're a doctor and you didn't know, right?
I mean, these people are on vacation. And, they're going to spend time at the beach.
Yeah.
You end up going and getting what seemed to be a routine deal, and the dude pulls the wrong organ out.
That's, I've seen them when you go in, like my dad was having surgeries on his arms, put pins and shit in after fall, and they write on your arm before the surgery, this arm.
Yeah.
Like, don't go in this arm, motherfucker, go in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get it wrong, evidently. I mean, there's a reason people do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the policy procedure is going to be for a fucking doctor that can't tell the difference between the spleen.
No, and he labeled it the wrong thing.
That's
even.
what I'm saying.
That's
right?
crazy,
That's
man.
stupid, bro.
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, so yeah, he labeled it wrong. Yeah. Oh, no, after he took it out.
Yeah.
I'm talking about ahead of time. But I mean, you have to fucking say, hey, the spleen's on this side of the body. You're a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And they don't look. It's not like these two organs. I mean, like it said, one of them's 3 times the size of the other. They don't even look
It's
the
the
same.
wrong side of
Be
the
like
body.
pulling out the heart when you were supposed to pull out a lung.
They need to take that dude's BAC.
Yeah, it's
I'll talk about one more real quick. That is crazy as fuck. And this is short, but NFL football started this weekend, last Thursday, Friday, whatever. But the main day was yesterday, and I like the Miami Dolphins. I liked them since last year when they were on Hard Knocks.
yeah.
Right? And Tyreek Hill,
Dave Marino,
Larry
Zonka.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill used to be the fastest man in the NFL. They call him the cheetah, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now they got some rookie that came in a little bit faster. But yesterday on the way to the game, and they hadn't said everything that happened yet. Yesterday morning on the way to the game, they played the early game. He got pulled over by the cops and handcuffed and shit. They took him out of his vehicle.
Oh, I saw that.
And
Yeah.
handcuffed him and all that shit. And he said he's a class act. Bro.
Yeah, he was very respectful.
And he said, "Look, I did exactly so I didn't disrespect him because my mama didn't raise me to be that way." He said, "I want to be a cop." He said, "I got a state trooper hat and everything." It's before the census.
Sure.
And he said, there's good and bad in every profession. And he said, but he said, I'm not really going to comment on it. And they said, were you aware that he's already been placed on administrative leave? He said, but that should tell you all you need to know. He said, but what kept going through my mind is afterwards was, what would have happened if I hadn't been Tyreek Hill? And my team, evidently, his teammates showed up. They had him in handcuffs.
Yeah.
And they asked him, said, did they put hands on you after you were in handcuffs? He said, yeah, they did. And then he said, I don't want to say any more about it other than, he said, I got to still show up today and go to work. Right. And I got a family to provide for and all that. But evidently his teammates were on the way to the stadium also, and they saw him handcuffed and shutting their guy like, "Hey, motherfucker, what are you doing?" That's our kid. What did you do? And still, we don't know what he did. Maybe he was speeding or whatever. He said, "I was just driving, thinking I'm gonna catch 5 touchdowns today, and I was in a good mood." They pulled over. The cop pulled me over, and everything didn't really sugar turn his shit.
Yeah,
but I want to thank him for having a class, handle it the way they did.
That's right.
And he's still giving a shout out to the police. And he said, y'all protect us every day. And, it's unfortunate that this happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's crazy.
Class act. And, situations can escalate real fast.
Yeah. But I believe he appears to be a humble person. He said, I never raised my voice. I never was disrespectful. I don't know. Maybe they catch black man rolling. He said, I don't want to make this about race, but it is. Yes.
Right. Well, I got one more quick one, and this is another crazy one. A woman working for Wells Fargo in Arizona died at work and was found 4 days later. So Denise Prudhomme, who is 60, she clocked in at Wells Fargo in Tempe, Arizona at 7 a.m. And she was found at her desk on the 3rd floor 4 days later.
Nobody missed her.
Dead. Firefighters responded, and they pronounced that woman dead at 4:55 p.m. Prudhomme's cause and manner of death were pending. According to police, there was no signs of foul play, and an investigation is ongoing. Wells Fargo workers reported smelling a foul odor, but thought it was an issue with the plumbing. Local television stations reported. At least one employee told the outlet that they wondered why Wells Fargo didn't formally address workers about the woman's death initially. Most employees in the office work remotely, but the building has 24/7 security. Wells Fargo said that the company was communicating with the family before speaking to employees, but added that she was in a very unpopulated, quote unquote, area of the building. There you have it. How does that happen? And then how does, it makes me almost sad in a way because nobody, her family, she didn't have any family that was like, I hadn't talked to my sister in 4 days or my mom or
you stuck back at some corner.
Must have had a heart attack or something. And 4 days in your office.
4 days. And they only found you because
only
found you after 4 days because of the smell.
Yeah.
Where the fuck's our boss at?
He ain't at the office. I can tell you if he was lying, he's busted now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not a prison where you got to check them every 15 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, somebody should have checked that part of
4 days.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. So, pretty crazy lineup of news articles for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed that.
Yeah. That's a good one for Tuesday. And again, y'all get ready today. Because it's better to have it and not need it than
that's right. I'm already started my charge and everything. Now they have flashlights that charge, which is really nice because back in the day, my wife would have me buying 900 D size batteries that we don't need.
All different times, but anyway.
So,
all right. We love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for liking and listening and tuning in and sharing and all that good podcast shit.
That's right. And until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
Woody Overton,
your host of Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.